is CNN.
We've not heard from the prime suspect in the terrorist attack, Osama bin Laden, since the day after the attacks when he denied responsibility. We may have heard from him today. A message was sent to the news channel Al Jazeera at its offices in Afghanistan. Employees there say that based on past communication with bin Laden, they believe the message is authentic. Here are some of the excerpts from the letter, translated, of course. We tell our Muslim brothers in Pakistan to use all their means to resist the American Crusader forces in Pakistan and Afghanistan. I convey to you good news, my beloved brothers, that we are steadfast and struggling to defend our cause, following the footsteps of the Prophet, peace be upon him, with the believing heroes, the people of Afghanistan, and under the leadership of our prince, the warrior Mullah Muhammad Omar. We ask God to make us defeat the infidels and the oppressors and to crush the new Jewish Christian Crusader campaign on the land of Pakistan and Afghanistan. We haven't been able to confirm independently if the letter is real, but we did pull from our files here in New York a signature from bin Laden. It's on the left in the screen in a moment, and it was filed as evidence during the embassy bombing case here. Okay, look at the one now. The signature on the left was testified to as authentic, bin Laden's signature. On the right, the lower part of your screen, is a signature from today's letters. If we superimpose one on the other, you can see the similarities, and while, again, we are not handwriting experts to be sure, there certainly are similarities there. So let us assume for a moment the message is from bin Laden. It is defiant. It shows his connection to the Taliban leader, Mullah Muhammad Omar. This is how one terrorism expert described their relationship. They are intertwined like serpents, he said. With the latest from Islamabad, Pakistan, CNN's Christine Amanpour joins us. It is morning there, so good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Aaron. And of course, word of this letter has not reached the Pakistani press. Perhaps it came too late last night, our time. But certainly Pakistani officials are very concerned if this is a genuine letter, because it directly appeals to those elements of Pakistani society who oppose this country's decision to stand with the United States. It clearly is, according to analysts here, sort of the first shot in the battle for the hearts and minds of those religious people here who may want to cause trouble if there is any kind of Pakistan-US military alliance. And certainly Pakistani officials are concerned about that, if indeed they believe that this is the genuine article. Now, on other matters, as the United States President George Bush talked about this global campaign to shut down the terrorist finances, there is a delegation from the European Union. He talked about using all sorts of global institutions, and they're coming here today. That may be on their agenda as they talk to the government of Pakistan. And also the United States has given Pakistan a much-needed economic shot in the arm, provided them some relief by yesterday agreeing to reschedule some of Pakistan's very heavy debt to the United States, Aaron.
A couple things, Christiane. The fact that, well, how free is the press to report this fax or anything else in Pakistan? Would it normally get to people there?
It would normally, if indeed it gets faxed to the press here. Now, what we understand from the way this message got out is that it went straight to the Al Jazeera reporters in Afghanistan, and then to their headquarters in Qatar in the Persian Gulf region, and then it was broadcast to basically the international news agencies. But generally, the papers here do pick up, whether it's a day late or whatever, whenever they get the news, they do pick up what comes on international news agencies, and they do print it. It remains to be seen whether the government tries to get them not to print this particular one. We'll watch for tomorrow's papers.
And I've been wanting to ask this question for a week now, I guess. How stable is the government in Pakistan? It wasn't an elected government. How stable is it?
Well, to address both points, it wasn't an elected government, but you'd be surprised by how much support this government has, particularly now. I've been talking to some political party leaders who clearly have their own political agendas at heart, and even they have said Musharraf is the man for the moment. Even though it was a military coup back in 1999, many people here wanted the stability that this government brought because they were fed up, basically, in a word, with the massive corruption of their previous leaders. And of course, he has promised to have general elections next year, and most people here believe that that is the case, and he will stick to that despite this crisis. On the other matter of right now, Musharraf has directly appealed to his people. He has had many leaders of all sorts of elements of society here, from religious to tribal to intellectuals to academics, politicians, everyone, to convince them that his decision was the only decision he could have made for Pakistan's good. And so far, that appears to be, the people appear to be buying it, except for that small minority who at the moment are being sort of riled up by their religious leaders to have demonstrations and to oppose this. And of course, the military situation hasn't yet happened, and we wait to see whether that public sentiment, which is now mostly pro-Musharraf, changes.
Christiane, thank you. Christine Amanpour in Pakistan, where it is already tomorrow morning. We have much more on this special report. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.